going to put them in your table, and then for each separate set, you're going to calculate the mean. So you're going to find the mean height of your group, the mean length of your left foot, etc.
And for time purposes, only do the height for today, because we obviously don't have time to do all of them.
Okay, so where's your group?
We don't have a group.
Okay, the four of you guys can go together. The four of you.
It could be four.
Yeah,
three groups of four or four groups of three.
That's just easy. So the four of you, and then four of you. Okay. No estimating. We actually have to measure. This is fun and interactive.
Step right up.
I didn't get to measure.
Hold it up to your
We each have to go
like a midget.
Yeah. 91.
We can measure in centimeters.
Press the 7 quadrant. How small are you?
167.
Centimeters?
Yeah. 76.
It's like 150. Okay, right there. That's so funny. I'm just thinking about that.
What was it?
147. No.
Who's next?
173. 173? We're about the same. Yeah, 5, 6. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Put their hands on the way. Maybe I can.
Alright, what do you want? 70? You want to say 70? You gotta do 70.
170. You're like really good.
Go to 71.
No comment.
Yeah.
Right?
The whole thing. Because we were just going to do a page. Oh, okay.
Okay. So did I do Jay, you're bringing our average down. Once he's like a half hour.
She's so late and she needs to get something. She gets something nice.
How tall are you, Rebecca?
Are you 5'6"? I'm almost 5'6", but
When we were going to the concentration, he stood on the back of the room.
he was probably like measuring like something like that. No, I'm pretty sure that meant, but I mean, there's
You have to lower the hair. Oh, shut
yeah, we have to talk to you about something, but you need to know.
I know.
You should run up something. Okay, perfect.
Okay, can you guys give us a thumbs up sign if you completed the activity? Okay, everyone has a thumbs up. We're going to ask for a representative from each group to tell us about their results. Okay, so let's start with this group.
Okay, so the mean of all of our 4 heights was 162 centimeters.
Okay, and how did you come up with that answer?
We added all the heights together and divided that by 4.
Okay. Can we have the second one?
Our mean was 162.5 centimeters.
Okay, and how did you guys get your answer?
We measured up against the wall and just recorded the data.
And then how did you actually get the mean? How did you actually
Adding it up divided by 4.
Okay, and the last group?
We added all the heights together and then divided it and got 171 centimeters for the mean.
Oh, you guys are fun.
I'll be average height in the group.
And yeah, you guys are cool.
Okay, so you all use that method, the procedural method of adding up all the numbers and then dividing by the amount of numbers. Can anyone tell us why that method works?
What does it mean that your group average was the number that you calculated?
Well, you're always dividing by the amount of people and the amount of numbers, so that's kind of in a way leveling it out.
Okay.
So you're adding it to get the sum of it, and then you're leveling it out by dividing it by 4.
It's an equal groups.
Okay. Does anyone else have anything to add on to that?
Just to add on to what she said was dividing is similar to subtraction. You're always going to be getting, like in this case, you're dividing it by 4. So when you're dividing it by 4, you're like, it's like when we subtracted 4, I think it was from one of them, and leveled it out.
Okay, so you mean so like the taller person, you subtracted from the taller
So
person.
put it in terms of the unit.
So you took like the tallest person, subtracted centimeters off of them, added onto the shorter person, and leveled it out until we would all be like our average was 162.5. So I would take like Lindsay and I were 169 centimeters. So we would level us out and put it our height on top of like Dana, who was 147 centimeters. Actually, we would all be adding to Dana. In that sense.
So if you were to have manipulative, say 100 and however many centimeters, you can borrow from groups and contribute them to
Correct.
make them all equal, and that's how you find the average.
Okay, so for our assessment, these worksheets that you guys filled out, well obviously you wouldn't have just done the height. Each group would have completed each activity, and we would actually use this as our assessment to see if they actually get the procedural method, and then, you know, just throughout the lesson asking kids questions, we would listen to their responses and also use their responses as another form of assessment.
And also asking the question of how you would find it conceptually is assessing their conceptual knowledge of how to find the average. And to sum it up, statistics and probability are 2 different concepts but are closely related and work hand in hand. As we mentioned in the beginning, when you're doing statistics, there's always probability embedded in it somewhere, whether you notice it directly or not. Children should be exposed to statistics and probability at a young age, regardless of what studies in the New York State Learning Standards say. So regardless of studies saying that kids